Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal weekend. So, as we go ahead and we look at the market close here, and that's what's happening right now, we're closing up on Friday afternoon. So, what we're looking at is this: we're back to the bottom end of the weekly support resistance. So, we had the resistance coming down on top of us, the support below, right? And so, we've been talking about this now for multiple weeks, this whole concept of that key support and resistance. So, we told you we had that support, but then I said, look, we got all this resistance on a daily basis and on a weekly basis here, and you're seeing it. Look what happened. All we did was we got right up to that double what was support level previously and is now a resistance level. And we talked about that over the last couple weeks. Go back and watch those videos. The good news is I didn't do a video every single day, so you don't have a lot to go ahead and go through, because I've been trying to go ahead and say things when they're important. And so with that being said, it certainly is an important time here now that we're at the bottom end of the long-term weekly support here. And so what this means to us is a couple of things. Number one, given the fact that with the CPI data that came out here on Friday and the where things stand, we're even having the energy stocks, which have been high flyers, going ahead and pulling back a little bit because the expectation interest rates are going to be raised up. Things are going to start slowing down. The real estate markets that we've been talking to you about since even late last year. I was doing different presentations for you with my ITP classes that I was doing in that TRP. We talked about the real estate market, and so sure enough, we're seeing real estate's been getting a shellacking for a while. Transportation sector is getting smacked here, and so what's happening is you're getting these pullbacks now in some of these key sectors. And so where we're at with all that, based on that information, we're at this key support, and now what I want for. We're going to push through this and pull up and then make this a resistance, kind of like we did back over here, right? Push up, pull back, and then it made it resistance, and that led to a bigger fall. Well, and right over here with this key support that was back here in the backdrop on the daily chart when we pushed down through, and then now that's resistance, okay? Are we going to do that with this weekly? That would bode very poorly for certain stocks. There will be some really great opportunities. We're going to talk to you about some of those. Don't forget, we've already talked about some of the different things you can look at when the market's pulling back here, like the SQQQQ, right? We talked to you about positions like that Ted had previously had in the SQQQ. Want to be flat and sleeping like a baby over the weekend here, so nothing going on there from our perspective, with the SQQQ and that, but wanted to go ahead and make sure that you understand the thinking. So the logic is here, we're watching this key area of long-term support versus the long-term resistance coming down on top of it, how it's affected this area here, and that basically means that, especially on like a Friday here, the best opportunities from my perspective are going to be, on the intraday basis. And of course, this morning we had, I'm going to zoom this in for you real quick. You could see right off the bat with the economic data this morning, we ended up going, we had the push down here. We had a wealth signal fire off, breakout forecast, and of course, then we had IRBs and reverse IRBs. So you had a lot of things all firing off there if you see all those together, and the champion trend in here. A lot of things firing off there. But remember, breakout forecast, remember that. Don't forget it. So what happens is, remember when you get a breakout forecast like that, what that means is after a pullback, you're expecting lower lows, right? And so we got that, and you can see that we had a lot of that, right? And then you got more breakout forecasts, right? And so then you got lower lows. So the key is here that there's a lot of opportunities for continuations and entries and re-entries in this, as long as you're staying below that champion trend. All these things are such powerful tools, as you can see, working together here. And so these are all inside well charts. They're exclusive tools there to well charts. And so what's nice is you can see how that opens up a lot of opportunity, and then taking some of my classic trading ideas, like the long-term stochastics kind of being buried, the short-term stochastics going to have a short-term spike against the predominant trend. That becomes a stochastic spike like we saw here, here, and here, right? Those are short-term pullbacks against the predominant trends, and those are the re-entry opportunities for the next legs down, right? So taking some of those classic things I teach you at Wealth 365 summits and stuff like that, and bringing it all together here again. So, and you'll see that, speaking of which, like the IRBs, right? So you can see the IRBs here. You had a reverse IRB, here you had a classic IRB, and so we broke down below those levels, and that's why I fired off those dots again. Look what happened, right? So these are pretty big moves. It may be even hard to see just because of the nature of the depth of the movement today. So with all that being said, you know what I'm looking at now. I'm going to be watching going into Monday these areas. If we can break through these levels, that's going to open up some exciting new opportunities, which we'll go ahead and we'll present to you. We'll show you a sector scanner and look at some of the individual tools and show you what's firing off there so that you can be prepared and see what's happening. But right now, we want to wait and see if we do break that area, right? We know we held the resistance. So now we're back down to support. Can we break the support, right? We either want to break this resistance to the upside, or we want to go ahead and break these key support levels to the downside and then make them resistance again, just as was done back over here before when we got down through these areas. We broke through it, pulled back up to it. Now it's resistance, as you can see, and that's what we kind of warned about previously. So that's the plan. And I just want to make sure I was clear about that. The same strategies that we talk about all the time, things like stochastic spikes, IRBs, the breakout forecasters. Remember what that means, just like we saw those and showed you from the initial CPI crush this morning. Once you start firing those off after a pullback, that means we're expecting lower lows. And one of the great ways to take advantage of pullbacks there is some of the tools like the stochastic spike, right? So trying to put it all together. The best thing to do, and that was the thinking here this weekend, not trying to do a big SQQQ play or any sort of buy side play there, anything fresh there. Just going ahead and going into the weekend sleeping like a baby, and we'll be looking into next week here now and see what happens with these key areas, because there's going to be some exciting trading that's going to be coming up here again very soon. So stay tuned for the videos, because I'll definitely put out videos as I can as the market dynamics are changing here. All right, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. And by the way, speaking of Wealth 365, if you'd like to go ahead and join me for more training, what you can do is go to www.joinwealth365.com and get self-registered here. We've got a big lineup. For those of you that saw some of the other emails already going out about that, got a huge lineup right out of the gate on that first day. Got some additional speakers, new speakers as well, that you guys have never seen on the show before, and some real power players in the financial space. So this is going to be a really neat show coming up here for you. Can't wait for you guys to see that and learn all about that. So go ahead and get self-registered for that now to make sure you don't miss that. So go to joinwealth365.com and we'll see you there as well. In the meantime, stay sharp, stay ready for exciting new moves here. Watch those key support resistance levels, and we'll keep you up to date from there. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.